right here.
Good
Yay.
afternoon, wonderful, dear Sacred Hearts.
Good afternoon. Happy Venus Friday. Lisa, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to our Friday Tea Time Ascension Talk. Thanksgiving week.
Welcome for all the beautiful gratitude, not just only in America, but the gratitude of all of this world. And we get to share our special love, our hearts, and all the joy and excitement that we get to be with you. Thank you, Demetrius,
Hi,
for always joining in.
Demetrius.
Great
Hi,
love to
sweetheart.
you. Thank you for always sharing our posts, liking, and doing your bravo job in all that is coming through.
Hi, Valerie.
Hi,
Good
Valerie.
morning.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, beautiful beings.
Tea time, my love.
Tea time.
Oh my goodness. So Michael has his orgy bunny
It's not
cup.
orgy bunny.
It is
it's
orgy bunny.
It's just lots
They
of.
are having lots of sex
It's lots
bunny.
of bunnies just making love.
Lots of bunny making love cup. Mine is the crystal diamond
You
heart.
choose it for me.
Whatever. But listen, I want you to look at the tea. Look how beautiful it looks. So that's the coconut creamer on top with some honey and rose petals. And this tea is the organic coconut green tea from Tea Salon.
Good afternoon, Cynthia.
Hi,
Thank you
Cynthia.
for joining us.
How do you like it? Because you didn't want the coconut cream in there.
Well,
but
I was
I
thinking,
foamed it.
after yesterday was a full-on day of just like extra yum cream and everything in between, but it's good.
Isn't it amazing with the coconut cream in it?
Yeah, it's
and
great.
heat. Remember, we foam it up, how much delicious it is with salamati.
Salute,
Hi, what are you all
friend.
drinking as we start this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time together? As my grandmother used to say,
Hello,
sit
Christina.
back. Hi, Christina.
Good to see
Sit
you.
back, relax, have some tea so we can talk. What are you all drinking, dear hearts?
Valerie has some
What's she
blueberry vanilla tea.
Yum.
That sounds
Yum.
delicious. Blueberry vanilla. Hey, Valerie, I actually bought some blueberry toothpaste. It's this organic whitening toothpaste, and I've never had blueberry.
It still hasn't arrived.
Well, it's a special
Oh my
package.
goodness.
But I just thought of the blueberry because it's supposed to be this extraordinary new cutting edge of all natural levels that are here to bring some divine white to
Let's
tea.
see.
But I just
Yeah.
thought of blueberry.
Lisa, what are you drinking? Cynthia, Demetrius, Christina, give us a little one. It's so beautiful to.
Lemon, ginger, honey, and thyme.
Oh, he loves that. You know what? We should make it with thyme this time because we usually sometimes make it with other. We actually have some extra thyme from yesterday. Okay. Thank you, Demetrius.
Organic roasted dandelion. Detoxifying for you, Lisa.
Lisa, the roasted dandelion, I love that one. Sometimes it gives me stomachache because it's so strong. But I learned if I make it with the foam coconut cream, it's so fantastic. Just the exact right amount. Yeah. So, wow, we're ending November. Yeah, it's amazing. The whole Gateway month. It's been so phenomenal. By the way, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you all had a beautiful time wherever you were, however you celebrated it. Let's start from yesterday backwards. What do you feel?
Well, I'm grateful that we're really, really grateful that we could celebrate in beautiful, loving energy. I find that it's amazing when we can go to our heart and really just bring forth the great joy and happiness of love, of celebrating with loved ones, and really just be grateful that we can have that opportunity, no matter what's happening on the exterior, to always come back to our hearts. For me, I had a message in my prayers: no matter how powerful, how chaotic, how strange the energies on the outside, when we can really tune into our hearts and really lead by our hearts by feeling what is there to be present. And yesterday I felt it was just a great day to be present with family, be just really joyful in the gratitude that we can come together. And really what I appreciate about your questions of like what we're really, what this year we're really grateful for and what really surprised us.
So like in our family, like let's, what Michael is referring to. So yesterday, when we were together was obviously my sons, my mama and papa and Michael's mom. And we also had my former spouse with us. We haven't had him be with us for a few years. So it just happened to be exactly aligned as it was since 3 years since we've spent Thanksgiving together on the day 333 completion day. And it was really, really beautiful because the way I had set it up, the way it worked out was amazing. Because today in Lebanon, they celebrate Mother Mary's. Today's Mother Mary's Day in Lebanon. And yesterday, as I was setting the table, Michael had gotten the light blue tablecloth. And I was like, beautiful. So I usually set up the table before, and I was like, it couldn't be more perfect, this light blue color energy, because there's been such a powerful, truly divine mother energy the last 2 weeks coming into the planet. And for me, particularly this week, I could not have been more of a mama lioness this past week. I mean, it couldn't possibly be more.
She set everything up as she always done in her Galactic goddess Persian elegant style. I mean, thank gosh for you, honey. And what I really appreciate, the touch of the sacred feminine grace. I know, most of you, except Demetrius, we're holding that fort as masculine, but just the grace of a feminine touch when she places the cups, the beautiful heart-shaped napkins, the crystals. And what I love most is bringing forth the depth at the very end, because as families get together, we talk about everything, but the depth of
so that's what I was getting to, because it was like the frequency set up. So of course, there's family, we have the older ones, we have the younger one, there's concerns, CV concern, whatever, and we are like, listen, this frequency of light transmits at all, so we always come back together. And it was very meaningful. My former spouse, because especially everything that had taken place, we're like, you're not going to be alone, you're going to be with us. So, and then for him to feel like, again, just the power of the family, the way we come, no matter what happens, we're behind each other. So it was really beautifully demonstrated. So of course, how we eat, all of that, everything we go through, and that I usually have some kind of activity as a group activity for us. So one of the things yesterday I asked was about 2020 going around, so everybody has has some sort of inner sight that they like to share with us as the family. So yesterday I asked, what was this 2020? What are you most grateful that 2020 has brought to you? And what was like the one thing that surprised you about yourself that you hadn't seen in you before that was brought forth? And we asked them that too. But what was so interesting? Second year in a row, my youngest one was the first to volunteer, which he never does. He went for like this. It was amazing, huh? So, I think you all followed.
So everyone that's listening here, go into your hearts and feel what in 2020 was the most grateful thing that you feel touched you. And you can write that into your comments. And if you want to follow that, what surprised you? Like, what was within you that surprised you the most?
That came from inside out.
Yeah, that came inside out.
So Michael and I, we went around, listened to everybody, and it was such a beautiful moment. I felt so much gratitude. The whole day I felt so much gratitude. First of all, from the weather. Second, the way just the way it was brought together. And I couldn't even put the amount of list, but both of my sons here, and the way light has prevailed, the way all this amount of prayer that we do daily, Michael and I, the amount we do for our family, loved ones, and our closest friends, how that plays out in our outer field. I just felt the reverence of God's grace so much yesterday. And I could feel that Mother Mary's presence. And it was interesting. Me, my mother, and Michael's mom were sitting on this side. So the woman sitting here holding this vibration, mother energy. And you can see the power of the mother was so prevalent in pulling this family together. Like,
and the power of, thank you, honey, the power of unconditional love of Mother Mary, and how we held each other.
Yeah.
It's the most
It
beautiful
was
thing.
so demonstrated yesterday. So demonstrated yesterday.
And what was beautiful is in our unconditional love. Isn't it interesting? I don't know if you guys have noticed it. It's like even in our family growing up, it was always like, we come to the table, we meet and break bread. And I always felt like when we came to the table, it was the opportunity just to speak your truth. It was your opportunity to share what happened during the day. So I love that question, which we'll also share with you guys again, is what do you feel in 2020 was the most, what you were most grateful for? And I will say something that's just coming into my intuition. I'm grateful that Honey keeps looking more like me in 2020. She wears the same shirt. She wants a beard. And I know that we're starting to look more and more alike. Every time we post pictures together, they're like, you guys are twinning. You guys look so similar. So I feel by the end of 2021, it may just be one of us. We may merge and like, well, who's Honey and who's Michael? Because we keep looking so. The more
we're going to be Michael. Michael.
The deeper our love goes into people, like, oh man, you guys look the same. Like, yeah, well, we've lived every relationship possible, but I just thought I would throw that in because I'm very grateful that you look like my twin in the female body.
So funny. And yesterday I feel like one of the questions that around this question, the part that I really felt so deeply inside of me as we went around, I was the last one to, no, you were the last one to say, I said, what, which was very significant. I said, what has surprised me the most, not the most, but it has surprised me is no matter how much I've been hurt, really, and like the level of wrong that has been projected on, I have found that simultaneously I have even greater love to that person, to that which is being projected at. And I'm in so much reverence. And yesterday, I had tears saying this because I felt the divine mother energy that is really through these situations that's given the opportunity to be anchored on Gaia. And that's really this light that we are anchoring as we get closer and closer to 1221. It's all about the embodiment. And I feel so many things we faced, particularly this past 2 weeks, we faced, all these things with a lot on a personal level, again, has been such divine perfection, giving the gift, the opportunity, so that this particular frequency, which carrying the divine mother at a very high level, can be embodied, brought in, and like wash everything else off. And I feel like having my former spouse here be with us was a great demonstration of that, because I hadn't talked to him, I hadn't seen him for a while, and I said, you come here, be with us. And to feel that love, no condition, nothing, just so much in the room was so beautiful. And I feel everything is playing out in that way. So each of us in our own unique way, the frequencies are blasting. As they're blasting, we're given the opportunity to embody them in action. And I felt we embodied that so well in action, in demonstration yesterday. And it was that pure, that light blue sky ray of divine Mother Mary's energy. So perfect.
And don't you feel that through 2020, and I'm just speaking this on a personal, I don't know how many you feel, but I feel through all the tests that we've been through, it's been given us the opportunity to love greater, to hold more compassion, to hold more grace and kindness. Everything that we've gone through this past year of 2020 has just been another revelation of how much we can love more, how much we can be in our hearts more. How can we just drop away from the story and narrative? Because my question, or my answer to what surprised me the most was I was really surprised of how much has happened in 2020 that it hasn't had such an effect on myself or Honey in ways that it's affected so many people in so many situations on the outside. Take nothing away from our, our own love and our own graciousness and our own compassion and forgiveness that we're constantly applying to the external. But for Honey and I know for many, it's like this 2020 and all that's happened has like broken open a whole nother veil that we haven't really been caught into those energies. I mean, of course, there's been small triggers along the way, but I was surprised to say, wow, if I were to look back at a year where the world went into a pandemic, where all these topics and stories and narratives would happen, would I see myself in a state of relaxation, peace, comfort, joy, happiness, almost like this excitement of like, wow, things are slowing down so we can breathe a little more. We can take a pause to look deeper at ourselves versus going. It's like this, I feel like this gift of what that CV has brought to us is to really hone in deeper of what it is within ourselves that we can really appreciate. And I felt yesterday was a great appreciation, because for me, that great appreciation is when we can have family, family within our own genetics, but also family through our own friends with you, dear hearts, with people that once we meet, we feel this connection. And once we feel that connection, I feel there's this activation. There's this download that we can share because we resonate with each other. Sometimes, which we see resonating much closer to our friends than our own family at times. Right?
And I feel the other part of it was, again, being with family members where there is completely like 100% difference, the opposing, let's say, political views, that's been like this, and me and Michael in the center of it, holding the center, and none of that energy discussed, brought in at all. So it was just the space, again, the demonstration when we come to the space of love of our hearts, all of that is pushed on the side. That division just cannot possibly enter. And we had a couple of funny conversations about it, because my brother's baby is going to be coming in. His name is going to be Isa, means Jesus in Farsi. Then we also have, what did we say? Muhammad. We also have Muhammad, which is like the Prophet Muhammad. Then there's also Michael's last name, Abramson, the son of Abraham. So we have all the blends of the three Western religions.
It's actually funny when I was sitting there, because
right?
we're looking at the table and I see Ted like old school Ukraine.
Yeah.
Then I look over to Honey's family and I see old school Persian. And I see my mom and me, and I see this like, we're a mixture of everything, but there's this old school Eastern European, Judaic, but reformed, very, very reformed in the sense of New Age, spiritual, and just a practicality, a progressive alternative. Then I see Carl, that is more Amrakai, American, mixed of everything. And I see the children.
Like Native American, African American, Canadian.
So that was like, that beautiful Benetton commercial of all of us being here together. And I feel it serves us to show that, like, we're all here together to serve. We're all here to celebrate. We're all here, even though Thanksgiving is a technical American holiday. Yes, the history does not demonstrate the most beauty, but when we can take the gratitude and love of just celebrate one another.
Yeah.
Take the time to really be present with each other and just share that love in ways that we can really honor and respect each other.
And I feel again, like for us, it was very sentimental yesterday, because we're going to roll back a little bit with that. I feel, again, so often we've been so hurt by our family members, and it's hard to bypass it. But these rays of light that are blasting through the gateways, they're of purpose, because this holy Christed selves that we are, that is radiating its light through the mighty I am presence, through these lower four bodies, the physical, as it's going through all of this, it has to detox so much of the debris of this lifetime and other lifetimes. So does the emotional body, so does the mental body, so does the etheric body, so that more and more of this Christ light can be embodied in these lower vehicles, because these are the lower vehicles that are walking, taking the steps on earth and is in action. So what we touch, what we speak, what we walk on, all of this is part of this divine perfection, where physically, like if you're going through the body pain, it has to be handled so that that can tie into the emotional body that has to finally be handled, that ties into the mental body that finally has to be handled, that ties into the etheric body. So once we start like recognizing how this operating system works and why through these gateways of, let's say, 9 9, 10 10, 11 11, and we're getting ready for 12 12, this blasting that's coming in, the blasting comes from this great central sun, from the mighty I am, through the holy Christ itself hones that, and it wants to pull it down through these. And that's why we suddenly, when we go through these, we have to go through the integration, and then we're faced with all of these outer experiences. Like, for example, with us, we have been facing several, well, mostly me, because I've been facing it, but you've been support, but I've been the one who's going through it. You've been in the supporting role as I go through it. What I've been facing with my son moved in with Michael and I, he's in the other room. So on Sunday, which we're very grateful for, and just all these changes in our lives, and a massive amount of them with both of them in a very short span of time, and then things taking place where the opportunity was given not to come from a place of trigger. And again, I just witnessed it, something that very easily, I would say even 6 or 7 months ago, I would flower flip, like what I would have done. Nothing. Like nothing. I just watched. So I could see, wow, that's the Christ itself that's watching. And that's what that Tuesday night we've been meeting has been supporting. So I can see how everything has been the support of this, because going through it, before I would say going through it wasn't easy, but what I can now say, going through it was in flow, because all these ones that got to face, let me turn this off, because this, all these things that face, I witnessed, it's no longer the human self that is experiencing the outer reality. It is the higher self, the higher consciousness that is stepping in more and more to lead the way. And it is through the high heart that is leading the way and is able to navigate it so much more easier, so much more peaceful. And I feel what you and I experienced in October, with that being so forced to face the ancestral programs that we had to dismantle. No way, Michael. What took place the last 10 days, we would have, you and I together would have handled it how easily, gracefully we did. And even me, I would have lost my shit.
Well, it's amazing, honey, because what I congratulate you with is just the ability that what triggered you or what would affect you, you're moving through in such grace, but I see that they're not even touching you.
It's no, like, it didn't touch. And like, that this is my child. This is with my children. It's the ultimate, right?
And because of that, it's great to look at that in a greater amount, because it's like, I feel all of us have been challenged or tested this whole year to see what is going to affect us, what's going to affect our mental body, what's going to affect our emotional body. How are these energies that are coming in? What is our response? Because we're all being brought forward into a higher level of light, a higher level of evolution in our ascension, so that we are getting ready for what's coming before us. And so I always, appreciate the gifts. And, when this happened, I turned to Honey and I said, wow, Honey, guess what we get to do? We get to love even deeper. We get to expand even stronger. And I was joking around with her this morning. There's this phrase, when I lived in Mexico, when families would come over, you would never know how many would come over, because, when you live in, Latin America or South America, they're just cousins.
Or
and
Middle
cousins.
Eastern.
You know,
Middle
there's just,
East.
in families that like, oh, I'm just bringing this one over. I'm bringing this one over. And it's funny because when they all come over, you just embrace them all because it's one
Right.
more person to love, one more person to hug, one more person to just be like, welcome. And so when Nevin came over, I was like, well, we just welcome to the family. And then we were joking, oh, maybe Carl moves in. Well, maybe everyone
and
moves
I
in
hadn't
because
seen my former spouse. So like on Monday he came, he's like, I might be here a lot more. We're like, the door has always been open to come.
And I feel I feel for all of us when we're going through these moments to allow that door to be open and to give even deeper than what you may feel, because it's almost like, the more that you're able to give, you're receiving back to yourself in the balance and alignment that you're keeping yourself in a state of coherence with what everything's going on.
But I feel there's not even a thought or calculation, anything about that. It just is because you've been blessed and gifted by the Almighty to be able to be in position so you can expand even greater. So you can like exactly like what I said yesterday. I was like, I am so surprised within this how much more love and compassion I have rather than the hurt or the pain and what have you. So that's been very, very interesting. The other part of this was like that I wanted to share with this is that all of us in one way or another going through this. So it just happened to be aligned. I know Cynthia and Lisa and Michael are in my sacred ancient breath of the wheel. And I feel again the timing on it could not have been more magical because starting the class on the October 31st and going through it. So we just finished teaching class number 2, and we have our own private Facebook group where we're going through the experience and all is being shared. I honestly feel if it wasn't for the master whales constantly around and that breath, I probably would not have handled what I handled in the way that I did. And in this right now, I am not in a place to tell you fully what happened because it's just honoring because it has to do with my children, and I'm honoring this space right now. So at some point later, I'll share fully everything. But it is a whole family. It was my brother, my younger son, my older son, my brother, my former spouse, Michael. Like I was dealing with all the men with. There's a lot that took place, and it's been really, really
that beautiful love and support.
You holding the highest support, like literally just we walk together in the door. Like it's been amazing. Just amazing.
So Lisa, Cynthia, Valerie, Christina, Demetrius,
let me see what
beautiful beings. How are you guys doing? We're grateful that you're here, and we'd like to know what's happening and what's moving through each and every one of you. If there's any questions or any things that are moving through your life that we can also just listen from our hearts to yours. I'm just going to read some of the comments right now because we're very grateful that you're here and you're celebrating this beautiful tea time with us. Cynthia said, I do tea drops, all organic, and this is her tea sprinkles refresh, golden turmeric, pineapple, and orange peel. No steeping required, just pour in your hot water. Excellent for traveling. Thank you, Cynthia.
Yeah, those are wonderful.
Lisa, this was one of what she's most grateful for. The closing of my business. Rise was the biggest gift. This was a relief. It gave me so much time for self-care and meditation, time in nature. Isn't that amazing, Lisa?
It's amazing, like Lisa.
When we let go of something, and it gives us the opportunity to see how much self-care, self-love, self-nourishment that we're able to apply for each other. That's amazing.
And Lisa, I don't know if you've noticed, you look more and more different. Like each time, your facial features, your energetic, the whole, it's like you completely changed the last 6 months. Like it's amazing to watch that. It's really, really incredible.
And this surprised me most that I would feel this about Rise.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Of course.
Christina, inner strength and compassion, beautiful. Oh, Michael, yes, that could be a name. Ho, ho, ho.
HoniBichaelA.
Oh, Michael.
HoniBichaelA.
This is amazing how you can feel that, or Carl, given that's all that's happened. It's the compassion, Lisa. I feel like when you can really see the compassion and feel that, it's amazing. Christina, I'm going through ancestral deep reprogramming with my mother, so thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
Christina, bravo.
Bravo.
It takes such strength in such a way to look within yourself to see this, because when Honey and I went through this, it definitely was one of our biggest tests to bring it forward and really individually see it within ourselves, because it is here to be transformed. And we realized that once it was transformed, once we released it, it gave us so much more space. Like the space opened up.
There's so much space.
And what's amazing about it, Christina, is the things. This is the gift that I love about it. Once you go through that, and you're constantly being tested. Obviously, life's going to bring you around, but when you go through that, it's amazing how they don't trigger you as hard, or you're not reacting or responding in a way that you usually would.
There's not even a trigger. There's no impact anymore, because
the impact is little, and it's almost like a gift to like really look at mother, father, grandparents, of seeing where is it that I did not accept them, because somewhere within myself I'm not accepting, because that program was automatically conditioned. And what's amazing right now is, for all of us, is when we watch and see all the things dissolving on the outside, we also have to watch and see what's dissolving within, because we've been programmed to be attached to certain things that we claim ownership, or we create identity or a label. And as we start to detach from them, what really is the gift? The less suffering we have, because all the things we're attached to is that this false illusion that this is part of us, when we know we're beyond this. We're beyond, when we attach to so many levels, that's going to create more resistance when those pieces start to dissolve, when we start to realize we're above and beyond all of it.
I feel one of the things, Christina, and everybody else, was so important is Michael and I took space, 5 days not seeing each other, so individually we can go through it and bravely face each one, take that personal responsibility, and truly seeing, okay, I am enabling this within myself, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And that action is very much contribution to the first ray, that blue ray, because it allows you to step in your power, the will. And that's from the divine will of Moria, the blue angels, Amazonia, those are the Elohim, Amazonia, and Hercules, and also Archangel Michael, Archie of Faith. So what that does, it gives you the will to see it. And in the religion, in Christianity particularly, we've always seen Archangel Michael stepping on that so-called devil. That's into religion, is showing that. But what really is that we are, through that higher will, through claiming that sword, grabbing that sword of light, we're able to step into our lower conscious mind, lower conscious, basically consciousness that ties into the soul fragments that are spread out everywhere because of the trauma and drama. And when you're able to see that, face it, head on collision, face it, not go anywhere, then it no longer has power. And it is in that place then you call in the light. And that's what those decrees are. When you call in the light, then it dismantles out of your field, out of your bodies. What is so important about this is that you need the space to go through this. And a lot of times we can't get to the bottom of it because we don't have the space to face it. And often it's uncomfortable. We don't want to face it. But once we do, it completely dismantles, because that's exactly the action of the violet flame that transmutes it back into light. Again, these gateways also fully support that. Just 1 second, why I'm sharing this, because we shared the video, the 2.5-hour video afterwards, when we made this ceremonial space with rose and all of that, just making it so beautiful. Then we got a chance to meet, and we faced each other, each, and we went through what was the program that we became aware of. For example, it was in my mother, it was in my brother, it was in my grandmother, that I was repeating, that I myself was like sick of it. And then once I saw it, then this is what I did with it and dismantled it. So I went through the programs that was then contributing. It was like enabling a program that Michael happened to be acting from, that was tied into this dysfunctional way together, that we had to dismantle it. And why are we sharing this? Because it was so incredible. And if any of you want to see that, you can see how respectfully we met in that space, and that's the space that opened up. Because that's that freedom and that true liberation state. You can't just create peace. It doesn't happen. Peace is a byproduct of you being liberated by the action of these rays of light, particularly the action of the violet flame that transmutes and transcends. Because once it dissolves, it dissolves. And that's what gave us the opportunity to go through these past 2 weeks, all that's been faced. And it's been a lot of stuff, particularly with my younger son, where he just had it. He stood up and he really exercised his power, demonstrated, and he said to his wife, I'm moving out. He's no longer going to tolerate what he needs to. So he came here. Then we had to open that space. And then the spoken words, and we coming right behind him, everything that was faced, plus all the other things. So having said that, if that space was so occupied by all these debris in these bodies, we would have never gone through it. We would have never experienced the grace that we experienced yesterday.
And it's so beautiful how you elegantly express that, because I feel each and every one of us can do this. It doesn't just have to be within a divine union or two people meeting. What I've recognized is, personally, if there is a trigger, if there is ancestral energy being cleared, if there are things that are moving through you and that person is not available, whether they're not here in this life, whether they're not here in this person, whether they're just not here in location, in the presence, you have the ability to meet them in their higher presence. Go into meditation, allow yourself to visualize your higher self meeting their higher self. Play with your imagination. With Honey, we get very creative, and we set the scene so high with bringing the highest golden light shining upon. We bring in candles, we bring in flowers. You have the ability to imagine on a higher dimension that you can create the perfect space, because remember, in your higher self, there's no judgment. There's no limit. There's no judgment. In your higher self, it sees through the limitation. So you're coming from.
Sorry, this was so delicious. I've been yakking it. Sorry.
So in your higher self, in your higher dimensions, you can create that moment, and it allows you to even let go of that limited, dense area where you still may be holding on to the frustration, the anger, the sadness, which is okay. Those are all areas which, when we look in our multidimensional self, your higher self is like, okay, I'm aware that's one part of myself. And that may be coming from my teenager or my adult or my child. But yet when that energy comes through and it's moving through, it's such a wave of purity, because it's like the waves come through and they wash away what's been pressed down upon you. And then it's like this resurrection of beautiful energy. It's like, wow, I'm free. I'm detached from something that's held me down so long. So, when Honey and I describe this as we do it together, we also invite you to do that with your higher self, with others' higher self, in your highest dimension, because we have that multidimensional ability to move beyond our senses and to look and see, as these energies keep rising, we are moving into higher frequencies. And what I'm excited about is we're actually giving the opportunity to invite ourselves to be in that higher frequency, so that we're actually living and being in our highest self, in our highest frequency and potential, versus living in a limited state.
I'm going to articulate that too, because it's so important, Michael Junam, what you just said. And again, part of us coming together, having some tea. Hi, Caitlin, darling.
Thank you
and
for the
communicated
pink. I
this.
didn't match. She copied off me.
I wore this first. Michael came, then put on his,
I didn't see her.
That's okay. So Michael, by the way, his is pink. Mine has a more of a peach. This is the 12th ray, the ray of light, by the way.
And this is
the third ray of light.
This is also the cosmic ray, but also honoring Mary, Mother Mary, higher heart. In the beginning of the of this, we spoke about Mother Mary. Thank you.
Higher heart. We did speak about that. We'll see that. Thank you. So one of the things that I wanted to speak about this particular one. So again, we're just wrapping up this November energy. The entire month has been a gateway. The entire month, every single day, we've had to go through this gateway, the tunnel, being on the other side of from the human self to the divine self. And unfortunately, many individuals, their focus and attention is so retracted to just the humanness. Humanness is important, but you are not a human. You are a spiritual, full light being. So if your focus is only on developing your human, you're going to cross over and you're going to turn around and come back here, because once you cross over, your life continues. And if you're working on ascension is not just here. Ascension is when you also cross over, you continue as the ascended masters are continuing, the angels, the Elohim, all of them are continuing to the next form, next life. So why I'm sharing this, because so many are so retracted here, just here, versus understanding and the awareness of their true higher self, living from their true higher self. Because this garment, once it's gone, you're on this side, you are more of your true nature self. But what the opportunity in this timeline is that on this earth plane is we are being given the opportunity to live from our true higher self through our mighty I am presence in this incarnation, in this timeline, in here. That's what the golden age, and you can't deliver golden age without transmutation. The only way the golden energy can come through, that means being a Christed being. And right now we're not able to even fully live in it completely throughout the whole day. We're going to get pockets and pockets of this window where we're more of our Christed self, living as a living Christ. And that's because what we have dismantled in the physical, emotional, mental, etheric, spiritual body, and within this crystalline tube of light, we're able to be more of that in this spectrum of the eternal flame. See, that eternal flame is constant. The eternal flame never goes out. It's shadowless. And this consciousness of my shadows is slowly dissolving, because the shadows only apply to the earth plane. You are not a shadow being when you cross over. You are a beaming of light. So the more you start to really face your shadow here, yes, bring the light to dismantle it, to expand it, so the crystalline light, the Christ light, can fully come in. And that's why these gateways are important. So what's coming up into the juncture of 1221, this incredible alignment that is ramping up. And as you can see throughout the planet, we're having more lockdowns, we're having more of these fear-based consciousness coming in. So it's going more down that way, because this is spiking up even more in the spectrum of light to be fully expanded in the horizontal field. So, and it's ramping up. The ramping up of 12, let's say 12, 2020, major one coming up, and then on to 12, 21, 12, 12, 21, 20, 20. That's a huge one. Everyone say hi. Just say hi. Say hi. Okay, well, just come say hi. Everybody, this is my youngest son, Nevon.
Hello.
Everybody says hi. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, Michael, talk for a second. Let me see if he needs the... Nevon, wait a second.
Mommy and duty. And you know what's awesome about these energies ramping up? Since March, these golden frequencies, which I have been feeling through just active prayer and meditation, it's been amazing that each and every one of us in the morning, especially this morning, just to tune into these frequencies, however you choose to tune into these frequencies, if it's meditation, if it's guided imagery, if it's shamanic journeys, if it's just being out in nature, to really tune in these frequencies that are coming through us, because as energies keep elevating and expanding, so are we expanding with it. And I feel it's our ultimate gift to really connect, be present, be still, take time throughout the day to really connect with this energy and watch what happens to your being. Watch what happens to, for me this morning, I was sitting there and I was just closing my eyes and I was visualizing these frequencies, this golden light energy, and I was merging with it. And as I merged with it, I literally could feel my body like expand and feel like this goosebump shiver sensation. And all I was doing was giving gratitude in the visualization of connecting with these higher frequencies. And I was feeling, wow, what would happen if we would take more time throughout the day connecting these higher frequencies, be these higher frequencies, and then blast them out.
But blasting them out, this is so important. So point of that, which I was saying, because it ties to what you're saying. So as you're experiencing more of this incoming frequencies, as we get some of this more of the headache, or we need to lay down and just to integrate, what is happening also through this, the outer field is constantly bringing you opportunity so that you can meet it right in here and allow this frequency, the spectrum, the ray of light to then meet this so-called, it is always going to be a denser vibration that you're meeting, so it can dismantle it. Best is dismantle it. And then you get to be a witness as your great self, how you went about it. Because when you proclaim the light, there is nothing that can stand in this stream of light. And I found myself in the morning saying the proclamation of the light even stronger. Like when I call it into an action, then when an experience comes into my field, I am then a witness, multidimensionally, how my physical self, my emotional self, my mental self, my etheric self, my spiritual self is moving through the experience through this light that was claimed, that is the activity of the light stream of the ascended masters. Because it's been now 8 years of very hardcore studying with the ascended masters to as a student of the ascended masters, to work on my mastery in the embodiment in this human experience. And I believe most of us are also in that place. And that's why we have to have these experiences and not think they're happening to me as a victim. They are part of my experience in my mastery of my great divine self, anchoring the golden frequencies.
And I love what you said about that, because I feel many of us, as we go through this, we're remembering that the mastery is already within us. We're going through this process to awaken it to greater levels. And sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's ridiculous. Sometimes it's like, why did I sign up for something that's this crazy? Because that's what's awakening within you. Do you see something that's beyond crazy good? Something that's allowing you to see an aspect of yourself that you would not see unless this opportunity has come forth.
Yeah.
And I know many of you can feel this, whether it's through death, whether it's through loss.
Like Caitlin, your father crossed over
or Lisa, whether it's through the loss of the business, or
closing of the business, not loss,
closing, or the illusion of loss, or the areas, or the feeling of rejection or abandonment. Or what I notice a lot is feeling like that sometimes we're in this group of minority because there's such a majority out there that avoid these topics. Even when it comes to the word spirituality, I see many people, I don't want to be too spiritual.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to talk about the angels and this and that. And it's almost like there's a disgrace of when we start to lower the frequency of higher frequencies that are here to help us, because the veil is so thin. So it's not that everything has to be spiritual, everything has to be divine. Yet we are divine, we are spiritual beings living in a human body. Our humanness is here to have this earthly experience. But what I love what Honi said is it's coming through us right now, so we can live in our highest truth. And I feel when we can live in our highest truth, then we're honest of what we really want to create. And a lot of times we get distracted of what we want to create, because it's almost like the rose bush is outside, and every time we walk by the rose bush, the thorn is catching our side. And rather than walking by and saying, thank you, thorn, we're almost like being distracted by that thorn every single day, versus maybe when we walk by the bush, we step back and we look at the reverence of the rose. We look at the reverence, what's happening, letting the thorns of life pull us down into areas of like, why me, and question, when we can just say it is because this is the perfect timing to awaken. And really, what I'm excited for in these next days, weeks, and months to come is to shine the light to our highest level. If there's anything that we can do right now, is to bring our heart, bring our love, co-create this with what's coming down. Welcome, which I get excited, the divine beings of light that are already here, and most important, thank them for assisting us, because they are really there to remind us that we're not alone. We're here of help. And if anything, dive deeper into the connection of what's already there. Allow ourselves to really welcome them, because the more we're bringing that attention to them, we can give that permission to say, thank you, angels. I give this to God. I give this problem, versus what a lot of us do when we go through these moments is we want to selfishly take it on ourselves. And so so we just have to.
That's part of that spreading.
Yes, spreading. So to me, these are phenomenal, extraordinary times, just to make sure. And I told myself this, not to get distracted with sometimes my curiosity of the change that I want to see, but not get my lens limited or dirty on media or television or things that I'm curious to see what is happening on the outside. Because really what's happening on the inside right now is the true journey. Everything with the inside is being reflected on the outside. So now we can honor that and really just bring that into our highest peace and love.
Totally. So I love that. And I wanted to just say, while he left, it's been so interesting. Since Sunday, Navan has moved out here. He's gone through so much emotions from the previous week, Sunday, to this week. And as a mother, sometimes it's interesting. I show my full self to him. So holding him, crying with him, and also being a witness to him speaking his truth so deeply and standing up has been. I have nothing but respect for this child, like nothing but respect. And I want to tell you all something sweet. On Sunday, when we went and packed up his bags, brought him here. We have a 2-bedroom apartment. It's small, two and a half bedroom loft at that. But it's so funny. What's amazing is this summer I did everything possible for the 3 of us to move in together, because I saw this back in April. I saw this happening, but it didn't align. So now him on his own has been ready to come, and because of what took place, and he walked out, and it was very monumental because this situation needed massive shaking, and my son did shake the ground, let's just say. So him being here, we cleared everything from the room, tried to get it ready for him, and at nighttime we went. We light a candle, we hold each other's hand, the three of us, and Michael and I did a very powerful prayer for him. And we called in the angels and the masters for him, and we welcome him. We did kind of like a ceremony welcoming him to live with us. And it was so beautiful the way we welcome him as our as somebody who lives here. And I could see, like, from a place where he was so heartbroken to the lifted energy and the way he hugged us, and he went lay down and he said, "Mommy, Michael is like the best stepfather I could ever have. He's like a real angel." I said, "It's amazing you're seeing real evil and real angel." I said, "Nevon, look, this is part of your experience. You have to see both, like real dark and real light." And the amount of love he's experiencing. And I want to share this with you because my son, I think most of you know, he's gone pro. He's a professional content creator, and he is somebody who I just want to share this because I didn't want him to hear it. He's somebody who I have so much respect, because at this young age of 17, he was in such a dark place last year, so dark, because of several life circumstances, including two of his friends 1 year apart that were murdered, and a few other things. He had locked himself in, and he didn't open the door to anybody. Like, I could have like a little window of opening to check on him, but no, and he wasn't living here. So it was very hard, just very, very heart wrenching. It's been 2.5 years for me. And, but he pulled himself from such a dark place to such a light, and he's come up. He has like almost 500,000 followers. He has so many contracts, and he kind of still likes to be hidden. But from this place, what's taken place, there's such a goodness that has touched him. And he came to us, he said, "I want to share this good." And one of the first thing was, he wanted to get his own, well, of course, he wanted to get his own car. And it was so beautiful because since he was 14, he said, "My first car is going to be Tesla." We're like, "Okay, we can't afford that, but go ahead." And so it's amazing. He made this happen. He bought a used Tesla, but pretty still expensive, and with the help of my brother, and he bought it on his own. And this light of ability to do it all on his own. And then from that, he said he wants to buy his brother a car from this goodness. I don't know 17-year-olds, 17 and a half year olds that have that level of generosity, that level of power to exercise, but he's always had that. And in the midst of this last week, because of this glitch that happened with the internet in his gaming, he lost a little over 100 grand in the gaming. This is a lot of money we're talking about. And we've been holding this space for him to teach him, it's no problem, whatever, this doesn't define you, but like really difficult things. And we can't even fathom what that money is. But here's like my 17-year-old working at this level, and we just there grounding. So he's recently come to us, and he says, "I want you guys to humble me. I want you to help me." And he wants to ask for God's help. It is so incredible while we're also experiencing some of the dark. So having said that, I've been a witness to my son's greatness, glorious greatness coming, and so much light that, let's say someone else couldn't see it and wanted to just take him down. And this is what happened.
Well,
Hurt him a lot.
and what's powerful about that, which can be seen in him, but also can be seen within us, is when there's so much light that's expanding within us, it can also shine on the dark that's also there to be released. And even within Honey and I, when we've gone through the deepest loving moments, there's sometimes it's almost that day or the day after that light shines upon these specks. But it's amazing as we go through these beautiful waves that there can be all this light, but then all of a sudden we can judge and be like, oh my gosh, I'm having a great time. Why is there all of a sudden? And it's that gift to say, well, this light is helping transmute this darkness.
And that was in the past. And that's what we're showing.
Right.
We're teaching Nevon about the energy and for him how to handle it, because at this young age, like how do we handle this? Like how do we properly support him as he's growing like this? Yet also there's light, there's energy that just wants to disempower him, but yet we got to see him in action. Like he is not going anywhere. He's going to stand it even stronger. And I feel that's what the demonstration was, which I can't get into details what took place, but it's so monumental. And that's why these kids need so much loving support. And this morning, he said to me, he came in, he saw me praying. He came, he's like, Mommy, give me the candle. I want to pray to God. I want to start working my spirituality while I'm with you and Michael. And I was like all these years, Michael, all these years, like they're doing it on their own. I don't have to say anything. Like my children, they want to, especially him, he wants to himself. And that's that gift. The light prevails. The light really, really prevails.
And in that light, I believe that when we keep shining that, even in households where there may be challenges or tests, that your vibration helps transcend that around everything around you. So as much as we may want a person to change, or many times there's relationships where one is not as conscious as the other, if you just keep practicing your own expansion, your illumination of your love, your light, your highest vibration, that's going to have an impact on all around. And it's almost like, wow, how can I go into my heart and keep shining that upon myself so that wherever I go, that light can move outwardly. And even if the challenge or test of darkness to come in, the gift is it gives you the opportunity to love higher, to accept deeper, and to really look at how grateful you are for these areas to come in, just to see where are you at. Is this pulling on you? Is there a trigger that's coming forth? So I feel all of it's beautiful, all of it's divine, and all of it we're here to accept in our highest light, especially what's happening right now, especially what's happening out there, without getting too wrapped up, but keep shining. The gift that I find with our shining of our light, for those that have joined us on Tuesday nights, taking those images of where we want to blast our light, where we want to blast our love, and really, really directing it to those areas, to those pockets, because we do have so much power within us that we can affect this. And when we're working on higher planes, we are shifting higher timelines. We are moving forward. It's just keeping our focus on that.
Yeah, focus has to be on there versus what is being played at
below, and not getting into, well, what happens if this happens? What happens if mandatory this? What happens if this scenario happens? Don't focus on that. Keep focusing on what it is that your heart wants to see, even with your closest loved ones, even areas that you're like, oh my gosh, this
hold
is happening.
them in that vision.
Keep holding them in that vision. Keep practicing. Keep looking. And then that grace, that love, that joy, that's going to keep moving higher and higher and higher, because you are the portal of light that's blasting it out. And that has no, like, that cannot diminish around you, as long as you're just that pulsating portal of light that's just moving through you and beyond you. So it's like, it's amazing to see what frequency you're at. And to me, what I'm blessed with Honey these past several years is when we start in the morning, really amping our frequencies up, really allowing ourselves to bring forth that energy.
It really is like a voltage of
Yeah.
amping up, hasn't it, Ben?
Right. And then seeing how that personally, how what I've noticed since the 8-8 gateway, how that also transforms my own relationship with my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, because right when I start to dip down or there's a feeling that's coming up, it's almost like this intimate relationship that I'm like, oh, there's something that's coming through that's weighing on me. How can I step back and observe it, not judge it, not personalize it, not defend it, and just be aware of that? And then continue that element of seeing what it is there to teach me. What is it there to give me in that perspective to say, this too is here to transfer into light without taking it in any other direction, but just being aware of it.
So much is in here. So much wisdom is in here. Angela, hi. Caitlin, hi. Love you all so much. Lorelei, hi. As we finish this gateway of November, we're talking about this is ascension talk, right? Ascension to what? What are we really ascending to? Are we ascending to something out there? No, we're ascending to the truth of the vibration of all that we already are. We're ascending to it's not even a spectrum. We're ascending to the fullness, the wholeness, the all-encompassing, the all-inclusive, eternal essence. So each of these gateway, and 2020 has been so significant, like even everything from the CV to everything it went, from the closures to everything has been so divinely orchestrated, part of the experience. So more and more, forevermore, of all that we are is able to live in embodiment. So when we're speaking of even shining our light, we're not here to come blast the light like that. We're here to be the fullness of that eternal presence that radiates in such magnificence without a shadow at all that blast. That's why if you ever notice, like many times I notice when I'm speaking, when I get into a space where I'm speaking, I notice people get very dizzy and sleepy around me. And I'm always aware of the higher presence of me, especially when my Christ itself, because I can tell my eyes start to get to a certain point and the words, the weight starts to come in, people get very sleepy around. And what is happening? There's much more radiance of that fullness of light streaming through. And that's what's happening. People get dizzy or sleepy or start to yawn or get like this because it's starting to blast through them, and it wants to start interacting with their field, so more of the denser vibration within their field can become available for it to be seen, heard, felt, experienced, so that through the rays of light it can transmute back into light. If you can understand, inner stand, heart stand, the rays of light are pure science, alchemical cause of action that we are given the opportunity to place into practice. And it's by far so much more advanced than the science we have today that still can't even quantify it. And still the closest thing comes to its quantum, it still can't even capture it because the speed of it is so fast. Yet we can just interact with it and apply it into action. So because we're learning how to maneuver from our higher state into this place in these portals that open up without any resistance of any of our human conditions applied in action. So why I'm sharing this, because through these next few gateways we have, ramping up to 1221, there's more, literally, there's no, it's like 3 weeks almost away, more and more of the fullness of what we are is being anchored to radiate throughout the whole planet in this unity Christ consciousness that we have merged with. And that's why so many of you were so grateful that we started this Tuesday night meditation. And we apologize, we let go of the weeks because we totally counted the weeks off. Michael said it's 52 weeks, and I thought 52 weeks was last week. So we have 4 more weeks to go. The Tuesday night meditation, so many of you have been meeting with us week after week, and we've been coming in this place where more of the stream of a multidimensional self, and particularly the Holy Christ self of all mankind, can become available through the planetary grid, literally, so that we can bring it through. And if you notice, whatever you face this Thanksgiving, good, bad, and ugly, it's important to be a witness to it. We got an emergency call from the state of Maryland that it's going to lock down again.
Well, not lock down.
Well, whatever. They have another thing. We paid, no, we laughed at it. So there's more. We're already aware more is going to be happening. We prepared for riot. We prepared for all of that because we know our job is only to stay here, even greater, even stronger, and nowhere else to be, rather than right here, and let what is playing on the outside play on the outside while you are witnessing and you are facing things with these rays of light, even greater, even deeper. And I just want to say this about the rays of light. I want to show you this one too. I just finished the completion of the 12 rays. So, for example, let me just bring, this is the magenta ray. The magenta ray I brought. And one of the things I'm doing in the back here, I'm writing what Elohim it's connected to, what angels it's connected to, what the ray of light function is. So this is what's been coming in. So all these 12 rays that I've been working with in creating the arc, pulling it into here, and I can see living in action, Michael. And you've been influenced by it because you can't go anywhere. You're hearing the decree and everything, because it is giving us the living in action as like a living science, right? And that's what these are. Once I've finished it, once all these things are also put in here, then we're going to have a thing. Then some of them will be available for purchase. Not quite yet, just a little bit more. So I thought that was important to share.
We're grateful for all of you in this beautiful day, in this beautiful time to join us. We always thank you, dear hearts, for just taking this time to honor what is said, but honor what you feel, and allow that to keep reverberating through your body, because we are upon exciting times. I feel there's so much beautiful shifts that are moving through us, around us, and I feel we're all lighthouses here, that our frequencies are just booming in ways. So to take this time, take this energy to do what you each need to do, if that's to rest more, if that's to be in nature more, if that's to just take extra time for yourself to anchor, because with all that's happening, rest is needed, energy is needed. And what I find so important is also to place it into the divine's hands, which is perfect for today's angelic message. So I'd like all of you guys to place your hands on your heart.
Did you know yesterday was day 333?
Mm-hmm.
Did they know that?
I think we said it earlier.
Today? No, we didn't. Did we?
Maybe.
We thought it.
Yeah. So placing your hands directly on your heart. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Just take 2 more deep breaths in because that felt so juicy. Another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more deep breath in and out. The angelic message for today is put this situation in God's hands. The best way to resolve a situation that stirs worry or anger in you is to give it to God. Today, put what's bothering you into the Creator's ready and able hands. You don't need to go through it alone ever. Stewing over a situation only makes it more combustible. Releasing the situation to God means that it will be settled in a miraculous, harmonious way. It also frees you from the toxic effects of stress or rage. If you need help in letting go, please call upon us angels. We'll never interfere with your free will, but we can aid you in seeing the light of all peaceful options that are available to you. The thought for today, repeating after me. I put this situation entirely into the hands of God.
Into the hands of God.
I trust in heaven's wisdom.
I trust in heaven's wisdom.
To heal this problem completely.
To heal this problem completely.
And I release all negative thoughts or feelings.
And I release all negative thoughts and feelings.
I know this issue is already perfectly resolved.
I know this issue is perfectly already resolved.
Right now in truth.
Right now in truth.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what the oracles have for us today. Oh, wow, Phil. Oh, angels. Does anybody else yawn when the presence or angels around? I yawn so much when I start. The minute I call them in, yawning, or the master. Nature.
Yay.
The nature kingdom was created from the heart of God. The 9th dimensional master Pan directs the elemental beings that support nature. An archangel, Purlimic, angel of nature, lovingly holds and protects nature as it energizes you, raises your frequency, and purifies and heals you. Your guidance is to honor nature's beauty and life force. If possible, go out into the meadow. Oh, nature. Forests, mountains, lakes, or rivers, and let nature recharge, balance, and heal you. A love of and respect for nature is essential for your ascension and that of the planet, their formation. I thank, bless, and love the entire nature kingdom.
I thank, bless, and love the entire nature kingdom.
Oh yeah, so good. So good.
Well, we thank you guys for another beautiful, wonderful Friday Tea Time Ascension. We send you all of our love, all of our light, and all of our gratitude for you supporting, for you being here, and for you treating yourselves with the highest level of just joy and happiness as we move through these incredible frequencies, this beauty of light that's shining upon us.
I really would like to, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I really would like to thank Angela, Demetrius, Christina, Higher Heart, Valerie, Lorelei, Caitlin, Lisa. Not sure if I left anybody else. I really would like to thank all of Cynthia for being a family to us, for showing up, for just for whenever we are on this live stream or we're on Tuesday night, there you are. We get to just share together. You generously make your comments there and blast. Look, Lisa, blast us with all these emojis. Your emojis just like blast me, like in me, inside of me, through me. And how can we really capture this gratitude? It's very difficult because it's just the perfection of it is so high, and you mean so much to us. Just that we get to be with you, just be in this moment. We get to share a part of ourselves with you, being ourselves, having tea. Some days being very silly, really wild. Some days just the wisdom coming in. Some days just totally wacky, and some days down, and the beauty of the fullness of all we are with each other. Truly, what a gift this is, and what a gift you are in our lives. Please know you are so deeply valued, you're so deeply appreciated as an extension of our hearts. And we really, 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 really thank you for the generosity of your time and energy, that so much you show up here. And also, even YouTube has been taken down, or Facebook, but still there are platforms that allow us to unite in this place, and it's a true blessing.
Thank you. It is expression of love that we get to harness with you all, and we are so grateful we can share that in our joy and our excitement and just the fun that we have when we can be real, we can be raw, when we can bring it all. So thank you all.
And so let's just go over a couple of things. Okay. I know you're fading slowly.
Okay, trying to get for an hour.
Okay, but sometimes it's like this, attachment, attachment. No. So Tuesday, Tuesday is December 1st. We do have our Tuesday night meditation. It is also Caitlin, Lisa, you want to come, Fidel and Caroline, you want to come, please come be with us. So we have 4 more weeks of just anchoring this here, also in person as well as online. So, and we're starting that a little bit earlier, 7:30, because we seem to get very tired earlier in the day, earlier at night, especially me. So we look forward to that as well. And let's just share a couple of things coming up. In 4 weeks, we have our New Year's Eve. It is in person, but we might open it on Zoom. We haven't decided yet. We feel we have to really go through 12/12 and 12/21 to have the fullness of the way we're going to do a ceremony. It will involve ceremony. It is 3 hours, 6 to 9, and it's a small group in person. And we will have it here, and we're going to shift things around to make this a very, very special ceremonial experience to go through. And more of the unfolding is important before what takes place. And we do have kind of busy month. We're not seeing as many clients this month. There's a lot of focus. Both Michael and I, 12/12, we're going to be involved with each other. 12/21, we're going to be involved with each other because we feel that we need that for ourselves. Get ourselves ready for the 2021. And anything coming up on your end you want to share?
I'm very excited. This Thursday, I will be hosting Michael MichaelA, a beautiful, sacred,
next week.
Beautiful brother that has just a charm, a love, and a grace in his poetry, and just a man that expresses deep from the heart that I'm so
very sacred man.
Very sacred. That
what time is that Thursday?
It'll be this Thursday, a week from yesterday, next Thursday at 3:30.
On Ascension Alchemists.
Ascension Alchemists at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific Time. So I'm looking forward to very much of having his sacred soul on December 13th. I'm also very honored to go back to Healing Crystals. In Dulles,
so you have that one-day event.
Yeah, so I'll be doing a one-day event there
in Northern Virginia, in person.
And just bringing in a lot of the energies which I feel I'm dedicated as these frequencies vamp up, just new creations and new ideas that will be coming forward, which I feel is embarking upon this December. So, but those are the two big events that are coming right now. And what else? A little tired right now.
I know. So I have just the last class for the Ancient Sacred Breath of the Whales on the 19th with my group. That's going to be very special. We have our last Sacred Sunday spiritual service at the end of the month. It would be on that last Sunday of December. So again, it's in person, and that just know that we'll announce the guest. We're finalizing that, and I feel pretty much that's it. It's kind of more of a lighter. It's very busy, but also a little bit of a lighter schedule. You only have one day in-person sessions at our place, end of that Saturday of Christmas.
Yeah, but that's a whole month. Though.
That's I know. No, I just wanted to see what's happening in December, so we put that out there because it's busy. It's busy and amazing, and getting us all prepared. Whenever I talk about this, Michael gets more tired. Anyway, love you all so much.
It's very productive.
By the way, trigger word for Michael is busy. I'm telling him it's busy. It's like a busy bee. It's beautiful. Don't get triggered.
Stillness can still be just as powerful as busy.
It is, but don't get mad at that word. See, that part he still has to evolve. He still hasn't evolved that one. He gets very mad at that word. Thank you for your images. Caitlin, I love you. I see you very shortly. Lisa, I love you. Oh my goodness. The last sacred Divine Union Bond is not this Monday, next Monday, the 7th, with Arette and Rob. So excited for it. That will be the last interview of the year.
Beautiful.
It's going to be amazing. So have a beautiful day. If you missed anything, please do let us know. We're going to update this video on our Ascension Alchemist page, and please feel free to share it if it served you. We really appreciate that. And have a fantastic Friday, however way you're going to be spending it. And this weekend, just know you're always with us as we're always with you. Thank you.
Love, many blessings.
Bye-bye. I'm gonna go feed him. You can tell he's fading. Gonna go feed him.